Hey. How you guys doing tonight? All right, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Rumble, I'm on the website. I'm a little bit of everywhere tonight, guys. How you doing? Hope all is well. Hope everyone's day is good, going well or evening. And if you're overseas, I hope your morning is going well. Pretty sure it's early over there, but nonetheless, we're here. Got a lot to talk about. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what's going on in the world, but I'm going to tell you now it's all over the place. When I say all over the place, I mean absolutely all over the place right now. I don't know if you guys saw the Tucker Carlson interview with Ted Cruz. I watched it. I'm already upset. We're going to get into that. We're going to get a lot of stuff tonight, excuse me. Depending on what time it is. We're live. This isn't pre recorded. I'm all fancy. I try to make sure I'm talking correctly the whole time, but sometimes I tend to forget. So, just saying, just saying. Don't be mad. All right. Now, before we get started, if you guys would like to, feel free to follow me on all platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You see that on the ticker at the bottom. I'm a little bit of everywhere. So feel free to reach out, hit me up, talk to me, let me know how you're feeling. Come on in, come on in. I guess I should do a quick sound check, of course. Sipping on the finest Jim Beam honey that I can get. Thought I was gonna say something spiffy. I'm not. Come on, I'm sipping on Jim Beam. All right, guys, we're drinking on a budget. So you're probably wondering, why am I live on Facebook tonight? Well, I'm live because I can, and you know what? Here's the honest truth about Facebook. As much as Facebook shadow bans me and blocks me and stops me from doing whatever I want to do, whatever. I don't mind going live on here. The worst they can do on my lives is take them down. They've done that before. So me going live on Facebook is a love-hate relationship. I don't mind it. It's just that I would like for my stuff to stay. But since they're deleting lives anyway, it doesn't really matter at this point. So hope all you guys tune in while it's up. If it gets taken down, it's whatever. Because tonight we are talking about a lot of things. Now, my main feed is Rumble. I'm on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. If you go to the website, you can definitely watch it on there. You can go, it's like displaying on the website. It's so cool. So I really appreciate the fact that I can do that now, and it makes me feel a little bit more independent, like I'm on my own platform streaming, which I am, multiple platforms. So for me, all this that I've been doing the last couple of weeks has been so much fun for me, right? Because I did the No Kings protest. I'm gonna tell you why I did that protest. I never explained why I was out there. The reason I was out there was because I honestly just wanted to be a part of the giant psyop and see it in real time. I've never actually went to like one of those kind of national sweeping protests and like take pictures and mingle and see what's going on. But I can honestly say I don't mind doing field journalism. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Like, that's just me. So you guys are going to get a lot more of me doing like field journalism in my local area. Again, if you don't know, I'm from Mobile, Alabama. No secret. We're all being tracked. We're all on a federal watch list. Get over it. So get over it. They're watching everybody. It doesn't matter what you say. If you're watching this, congratulations. You got invited to something. So doing field journalism is one of those things that I'm starting to enjoy. And at this point, I'm going to keep doing it. So that was part of the coverage. So we're going to keep doing stuff like that for you guys. All right. The Daily Rabbit Hole has grown over the last 2.5 years. I know it seems like longer, but it's definitely been 2 years. And we've grown to independent outlet. We went from faceless Facebook person, which I probably should have stayed that, but you guys are like, you should do a live. You guys, Marcus, you should come on here and do live. And I did a live, and here we are 70 episodes later, trying to save the world, guys, trying to save it from itself. Because I tell you now, the shit that's going on. Listen, if you don't think this whole Iran, this Israel thing is just something that's a whim, it's not. This is part of the show. Is it the Great Reset or the Great Prophecy? All right, we're going to talk about Albert Pike. We're going to talk about Mazzini. We're going to talk about some Freemasonry stuff. We're going to talk about some current events that's all tying into this. I got some wall breaks with wall breaks and more wall breaks. You know how guys, I like my wall breaks where, I talk about one thing, but then it leads to another thing. And then I got to dial it back because I done went too far. Like, I forgot I was on live. And then I got to come back and focus on the show again. So the thing is with everything happening, so much propaganda is out. Before I get started, how you doing, Luke? I see you up there. Bingo bango. It's my guy, Luke. All right. So what I'm going to say is this. All right. Now, the Tucker Carlson interview with Ted Cruz, it should tell you everything you need to know about how they're kind of moving with this whole Iran and Israel. While they don't want to say that they're going to jump into it, it's pretty reassuring that they are. Now, we've heard the rhetoric before. We've heard the many accusations in different places in different times where they said they're holding weapons. We don't want them to get nukes. We don't want them to do this. They can't have that. They're a threat to democracy. A lot of times, this is what we call propaganda. Okay. Now, I do have the interview up. I do have some clips from the interview. Again, it's gonna be a loaded show. We're gonna be on here tonight. It's Thursday. I know you probably got to go to work, but if you don't, or you don't mind hanging out with me tonight, stay up, hear me out. We're gonna discuss where we're going, right? You're gonna understand why I say, is it the Great Reset? And like, is this make America great again? Is this what it's supposed to look like? Or is this supposed to be the great prophecy that we've all talked about since everyone was a small kid in church, right? Everyone's talked about the prophecies, the wars, everyone knows about all the stories. Like, let me get that out. We all know about the stories, right? So let's talk about the three great wars. Let's talk about Iran and Israel, how that plays into it. I got some surveillance stuff to talk about Palantir, and I seen a strange video saying that Khamenei, the Iran supreme leader, has stepped down, and he had already given his military guard like complete control of the country because Israel's already knocked off a couple of their people. So he wants to make sure that the continuity of Iran keeps going. So he's already handed over control. You heard it from here. You heard it out my mouth. I have the footage of that. We can go ahead and jump into that one now. All right. So let's catch up. All right. In the last couple of days, it's been loaded. Israel and Iran are at war officially. All right. Are we in World War III? That's the question. Yes, we are. Like, without a doubt, we are. Now, of course, in America, the protests, the No King's Day, we covered that. Giant psyop. It is what it is. Sweeping protests, 2,000 cities. Somebody got knocked out of Mobile because he threw water on somebody. I showed that footage. I got my credit on the local news. Hey, local coverage, right? So that was really cool. But now we've migrated over past that ruckus and the military thing and the bread and circus of what that was and all that, right? So now we're at war. So we have to understand that Iran and Israel at this point, right? And please know that the narrative that Iran has or was weeks away from nukes, I wouldn't have been shocked if they had already had them. I'm shocked if they don't have them. I'm absolutely shocked. It's 2025. It's safe to say that this is normal rhetoric and behavior from all world leaders. You have nukes, you have warheads, you have missiles, you have a military, you protect yourself. This is the final fight, all right? That, the great prophecy, World War III, against the Jews and the Muslims, all right? It's supposed to be so ugly that the world has no choice but to take on the one world government, the new world order, right? I know. Like, hold on, you're getting weird. Oh, calm down. Hey, listen. Ask yourself this question. Is it really prophecy, or are they fabricating all of this? When I say fabricating, all the events have lined up perfectly because they've been pushing it down our throats through everyone goes to church, everyone goes to school, we watch the same movies, for the most part read the same books. Not all of us, but most people who read coming across some of the same literature and context. So we ask ourselves, was Albert Pike right? Or is the Bible, is this the end times revelations, the prophecy? Jesus is coming back, is what I'm saying. I don't laugh at that. I try not to snark at that, okay? Because people get weird and they're like, well, you're blasphemy. It's not really blasphemy. I just asked the question. Is it that? Did this already happen, or are we just dealing with people who are sick in the head and who are following some agenda, quote unquote, that leads to the Great Reset or the New World Order? Okay, this is the daily rabbit hole. You guys got to accept that. You guys got to accept what I am. Okay, so let's get into this video about the world leader, Khamenei of Iran, the supreme leader, stepping down. All right, I'm switching over to that. This is from Sky News Australia. This was early, I feel like maybe earlier today or sometime yesterday. All right, let me share my screen. I'm gonna bring it over. I don't find it strange that he did this. It would make sense that he's doing this. And then I remember to share system audio so you all can hear it. So that's gonna be great. Here you go. All right. Hopefully this plays. It better play loud. Luke, let me know if it plays. It should play though.
Ayatollah Khamenei has reportedly handed over a significant share of his authority to the Revolutionary Guard Supreme Council. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, the government of the Islamic Republic is at once a parallel structure and it's at once a very hierarchical structure. No doubt after the decapitation or deracination of lots of Iran's military elite, they're going to want to try to find a way to rebalance and try to keep responding against Israel. But no doubt the supreme leader is a title meant to be taken rather literally. But he is an individual that is 86 years old, that is highly ideological in his enmity and hatred of Israel and America. So that certainly clouds much of his judgment. The Revolutionary Guard is very much cut from the same cloth, so certainly no better there. But I just think it's just a sign of the times that there's different elements of the regime trying to do different things.
I want to talk to you about the posts that you mentioned earlier. Donald Trump says that we know where the Supreme Leader is hiding. He wrote on X, we know exactly where the so-called Supreme Leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers, and our patience is wearing thin. Now, Ayatollah Khamenei says that the battle begins. In a post, he followed up that we will show no mercy to the Zionists, or we will show the Zionists no mercy, rather. So what sort of impact do these messages have?
Well, they're designed to respond to one another, but more broadly, again, this is Khamenei kind of projecting. At this point in time, Khamenei remains the longest running autocrat in contemporary Middle Eastern history. Again, he's an 86-year-old individual who's holding hostage a nation of 88 million people, many of whom actually despise his views and have a fundamentally different conception of what is and is not in the Iranian national interest. But between Trump and Khamenei, there's a whole world of difference. And both of these leaders are looking to use public messaging to try to bolster their deterrence. But beyond that, they're very different messages.
Okay, and Iran has banned government officials from using mobile phones and other devices amid concerns growing inside Tehran that Israel is using the phones to track and target the country's leader. Do you have any more insight on that?
Well, you've also seen, in addition to the statements about limiting the phone use and limiting the digital footprint of not just what's left, again, of the political and military elite, but also of their physical security to try to move them into a more kind of beta, proto, non-electronic state to make it harder for them to be traced digitally and on cyberspace. You're seeing that being merged with rolling internet blackouts in some cities, in some towns, which I think could be a dress rehearsal for what we saw back in November 2019 as well, which is to limit and control the information environment available to the Iranians, because even in the middle of a shooting war, the government of the Islamic Republic fears its own people more than it even fears foreign bombs.
Ben Talablu, Senior Director of
All right. Listen, a lot of that's propaganda. All right. Now, some truth to that. He is kind of cutting his technology right now across the country just because we know how this works. Digital IDing, IP addresses. It's now hard to ping networks and find a person, right? Now, I think I pronounced his name wrong. Kamane, I said Kamini, whatever. Nonetheless, he's already handed over power to the Iranian Guard unit to basically continuity wise because Israel has put a dent in his leadership. All right. Now, the $1 million question is America going to get themselves involved in this? I'm about 65% sure that we are, because I understand that this is supposed to be the war of wars. This is it. Little Satan is Israel. The big Satan is America. Okay. Netanyahu has said this numerous times. This is nothing new. When he spoke with Obama, he said Israel is the little Satan and America, the big Satan. And Obama laughed and was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you assholes. Yeah. All right. Now, why do I think that this has been in the works for a while? Because when Trump took office, the first person knocking at his door was who? Who was it? It was Netanyahu. Came in, had conversations, wanted to, find out, does Trump have his best interest? And of course he does. Now, there's been some banter back and forth between the two, but for the most part, we know who's in charge. All right. Let's just call a spade at this point. This whole thing it went from Israel against Palestine and Hezbollah and Hamas and all that to spreading to Iran. Just like that. Understand how quickly this has happened. Trump got elected this year, and he's going to go ahead and see himself into the Great War. Now, like I've already mentioned that I already think we're in World War III. I'm not even going to play around with that. I think we've been in that for probably the last, if you want to include Russia, once Russia got involved with Ukraine, maybe you can kind of put that on there. But if you really look at the current events around the world globally, everyone's at conflict. And with Pakistan and India right now kind of going back and forth, because understand Pakistan and Afghanistan have Iran's best interest. India is with the side of who's ever funding them, which is kind of strange. India's a weird wild card that really shouldn't be in this conversation, but some long-standing issues between Pakistan and India. That's why we're here today. So, asking the question, are we going to get involved? If we don't get involved, I'm telling you now, if we really try to distance ourselves, we're going to get pulled into it one way or another. And how do you think we're going to get pulled into it? What is the number one way in America to get us involved in something? I think you all know the answer to that question. And it happens every time. When we wanted to go to Iraq, we didn't have a whole lot of reason. We didn't have a whole lot of reason to go after Saddam, but 9/11 gave us that reason to go after Saddam, even though we didn't fully know if he had even an inkling of interest in it or he did it. The narrative was spent that there was weapons of mass destruction. Okay. That narrative was spent. It was spent. And then we got into it, and it took us 20 plus years to get out of it. Okay. And they got 20 years out of that one. How long do you think that they can get out of this? Now, the timeline is 4 years because 2030 is right there. All right. And the Great Wars, in the Third World War is supposed to be the nastiest one of them all. All right. Now, I got some literature on that. I reached deep tonight, guys. Nope, wrong one. I reached deep tonight, guys. I got my literature. I got some stuff to go over. Got my book and stuff. I pulled out the books. I can reach into my bag and pull out books and literature. So that's what I'm doing. So I wanted to read about the Third World War, the plan for 3 world wars. All right. We're going to go over a quick history lesson. We're having fun tonight. All right. Hear me out. We're going to get into some old stuff and some new stuff. All right. I'm going to go into the plan for the 3 world wars. and then I'm gonna kind of jump into the new narrative that's being spent. All right. Now hear me out. I'm gonna try to, skim and get the meat of it. All right. Just bear with me. I know sometimes the stuff is dry, but put it out there. Now, before I get started, hey, you guys get out here and share my live. Share it now. Share the live, because Facebook is gonna be weird. If you're not on Facebook, welcome to YouTube, and I'm on Rumble. If you want, to feel like you're part of it, go to the website. All right. Please, please, please go to the website, catch the stream. All right. All right. Now let me get into this. Let me find where I was at. Now I got it highlighted. We'll bring that in. Bingo. I got it highlighted green because it's an old text. I find a lot of stuff on the internet and I kind of go for it. When I find it, I store it in my stuff and I hold on to it. Because people are burning books. All right. Before I get into this, it's really important to have books and really important to have literature like this. All right. Please don't let literature die. They're burning books, for God's sakes. I found a book that I was lucky to find. I found Aldous Huxley's Brave New World in the library in the accelerated reading section. Guess what? It wasn't in the system. That's all I'll say. So when you find books, you better hold on to them because they're trying to get rid of a lot of information they don't want us to know. And I know that shit sounds cheesy and I know it sounds cliche, but I'm telling you, they are burning a lot of good books, not just the weird shit, like good literature. All right. All right. All right. It says in 1871, Mazzini issued a letter in which he outlined the final three-part plan of the Illuminati. Their grand design for ridding not just Europe, but the entire world of Christianity and bringing it under the illuminated dictatorship of Luciferianism. This remarkable letter for many years on display in the British Museum Library in London. All right. Mazzini proposed a series of world wars. These wars were to embroil every nation in a conflict so bloody and chaotic that eventually every nation would surrender its national sovereignty to an international government like the League of Nations or NATO. All right. It's NATO now. Back then, a lot of this stuff was the League of Nations. The League of Nations dissolved, I think, right before like 1946 or 47. I could be wrong. NATO shows up around 48. All right. They get a rebrand. It wasn't like they passed away or anything or they just disappeared. They got a rebrand and they called themselves the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's NATO. All right. Or the UN. Excuse me. Current United Nations. My bad. You know what I mean. In order to prevent subsequent global bloodletting, one Masonic scholar wrote in 1987, the true birth of world democracy from its prenatal national confinement is now in progress. A war-torn, bleeding world is the midst of labor pains, preceding the ordeal of birth, labor pains, and the birth of a new age. All right? However, knowing the national sovereignty would certainly die hard, three of these world wars were proposed by Mazzini and Pike in their original plan. The first of these world wars, they hoped, would topple the czarist government of Russia and establish an Illuminized dictatorship, a new level in the game of control and populations. This would give the Illuminists a secure base from which to operate with a large population and vast natural resources to fuel the new engine of Illuminism. All right. Now, this is the first World War this is World War I. All right. We go into that. This is where the Tsarist Empire, is it the Romanovs and the Bolshevik conflict, Operation Trust. This is kind of where a lot of this stuff was coming from. All right. Now, the Second World War will allow the new Soviet Russia to capture Europe, or as it turned out, half of it. The Third World War would be in the Middle East between the Muslims and the Jews and would bring about the biblical Armageddon. Certainly by the end of this Third World War, the battle-weary nations would be ready to accept any proposal as long as it's promised peace, uniting the entire world under the fatal banner of the Luciferian New World Order. Pike wrote to Mazzini about consequences of the Third World War in 1871. Okay? We're following along. Are we still there? We're still there. Okay. Let me zoom in. It will provoke a formidable social cataclysm and the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, free-thinking people who like to put out information and have been telling you for the last 20 to 89 years that there's something wrong with all of this. Okay? We're talking about those revolutionaries, the people who are going to say something, the people who are going to open their mouths, the people who think that they have a dog in this fight, the people who are going to try their damnedest to make this happen. All right? We're trying to put this information out, right? Okay. Will exterminate those destroyers of civilization in the multitude and disillusioned with Christianity. Will be without a compass, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration. Will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of pure doctrine of Lucifer. Brought finally into public view, a manifestation which will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Period. All right. Listen to, okay, now let me put my face back in here. How does that matter right now? You're probably saying, like, how does that, what does that matter? Why does that actually matter? Right? Why? Because let me tell you something. Are you paying attention to what's going on around you? Are you not looking at music? Are you not looking at the strange symbolism on buildings right now? Are you not looking at the strange symbolism on your kids' toys and cartoons? Are you not, everyone feels this strange satanic feel to everything that they do now. They feel like they don't have a voice to be themselves, or Christian or Catholics or whatever. If you really pay attention to a lot of symbolism, you'll notice that there is a slight satanic undertone to it. And it's not by accident that there is this undertone. It's not an accident that it seems like Zionism is a part of it. See, I'm not going to completely blame Israelis. There are people in Israel who also feel the same way we feel. So I don't want to confuse the Israelis who see the same thing that I see with the Zionist pieces of shit running around. Like, I can separate without name calling, like without saying it's the Jews. It's the Zionists if and the ones masquerading as Jews. That's not anti-Semitic. That's just being honest. Okay. Now, do you believe what they're saying? If you look at the modern events, and this is why I read it. Now let's go back to what I was saying. Okay. Now let's move back to some content. I told you before that they're going to try every way possible to get us involved in, even if we try our damnedest to not get involved in this conflict. And as much as people say, well, Trump is not going to let us do it. Trump touched that wall. He kissed it. He put his head on it. I think he cried. And if you tell me that he's saving them for last, I assure you, you've never heard of Operation Trust, and you didn't read about the Bolshevik conflict. Because I assure you, those people were waiting on it, and that cavalry never came. Absolutely never showed up. 20 million Orthodox Christians gone. Russian Christians gone. That was World War I. Okay. World War II wasn't far off, was it? Okay. They got half of Europe. The Berlin Wall. Okay. They wanted half of it. They wanted to split up Western Europe, Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe, or the Eastern European faction that Tiny Mustache Man was looking for, separated. Everything east of that, Poland. That's where Auschwitz was located. Wall break. Wall break. Okay. Now, with all that said, I told you, they're going to find a way for us to get involved. How do you think that's going to happen? Do you think that they're spinning this narrative? The narrative is already out. I'm here to tell you the narrative is being spent, and I got proof of this narrative right now because I'm looking at it on my screen as I pour my drink like I'm Ron Burgundy. All right. I like scotch. So look, I'm going to pull it up on my screen. I want you guys to pay attention. Now, before I get into this, I want to say that I really hope you guys are keeping your head on a swivel, and I really hope you're listening to what I'm saying, okay? I want you to see the narrative that they're waiting on. This is coming. The Sean Ryan shows, that Andrew Bucic or whatever, the dude who got out the CIA with the long hair on TikTok. I don't know his name. I know it's Andrew something. Whatever. Top U.S. border chief warns new terror attack worse than 9/11 is imminent. This is June 3rd, 2025, Tuesday. All right. This is officially 16 days ago. Now, earlier I said there's always a flag event. There's always a flag event that seems to pull us into controversy, right? You know, a lot of people say, you know, back in the day, you know, Gulf of Tonkin was one of those situations, and they said, no, they would never, it wouldn't attack themselves or mistaking a ship just so they could get into a conflict. They would never do that. And they come up to, they did it. And then there was that situation that, and you know, they said, hey, we may actually try to like hijack a plane and then fly it in someone's sky and get Cuba to shoot it down. And, you know, we can get ourselves in that war. And people said, no, that's crazy. And then like 20, 30 years after that, Operation Northwoods was out, and it was actually true. Kennedy said, nah, it was part of the Bay of Pigs. And Kennedy was like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. This whole Bay of Pigs incident, Cuba, communism, Cold War, that was part of that. He said, no, I don't want to do that. All right. And people said they would never do that. And then there was that one off where they were like, hey, nobody would ever hijack a plane, even though they had hijacked a plane in the 70s successfully. No one would ever hijack planes and attack their own country. And oh, behold, 9/11 fucking proved us all wrong. One of the greatest fucking failures in security ever, happened. And 20 years later, they're telling us now that it, after everything and the Warren report, the 9/11 Commission, and all that, after all of that said and done, it really does look like they fabricated another event. And they keep fabricating. And when I say fabricate, please understand that people are dying. I'm not saying the people who died did not die. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they are orchestrating events on a larger scale and going another direction with them and using them or co-opting them for situations of financial gain and contracts. I know that shit sounds, where's my damn face at? Let me put my face in here because I like to snip this up and talk. Like, listen to what I'm saying. I ain't even read it. I just read the title. There are so many instances in American history that they have proven that they are capable of doing something out of pocket. How out of pocket do you think they have to get to drag us into this? I'm telling you right now, you need to look at your pants if you have pants on, because you're at home. You could be in your bed. I don't know. What I'm saying is, go find your pockets, pull all them hoes out. That's how out of pocket they about to get. If you listen, pay attention to all the events happening. They are setting up the play for the most out of pocket event that you could possibly think of. This is not fear mongering. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only and educational purposes only. I am telling you without a doubt. A mass coordinated event is going to happen on a scale that we are not prepared for. And when it happens, we are all going to be so lost, so dumbfounded. Tears, hearts, candles lit. It's going to be bad. And it's going to bring us into this conflict 129%. And when that happens, I want you to come back to this video and be like, hey, he had a real valid point. Yeah, because if you pay attention to our really bad habits as a country and with leadership, we have historically drawn ourselves into conflicts we had no business being in. Absolutely none. None. But the fact that we keep doing it lets me know that they just don't care. Like they know that death, the more harm, the more believable it is, the more strings pulled, and it makes it hard for anyone to question. Why would you question something so atrocious and terrible? Like, those people lost their lives and you're out here spouting conspiracy theories? How dare you? And yeah, I get it, but fuck, they keep doing it. And we're about to get it again. Donald Trump's border czar dropped a bombshell terror warning, claiming a 9/11 or worse is imminent. Tom Harmon blamed the immigration and border policies of the previous White House administration under Joe Biden for its terrifying predictions. Yes, the decrepit old man who was auto-pinning everything, which clearly he was not signing anything. It was auto-pinning everything. That's official. It's not a conspiracy. Don't get weird. He was auto-pinning everything. Yes. Let in 20, 30 million people, not just from the borders below us, but from borders around the world. Borders that shouldn't have got over here. There's no way that they should be crossing through us to get in when they could go to their own embassy or whatever, or ambassadors, and get visas on programs. We all know the game. We know they can get in America. We know they can go to school for free. Everybody knows this. It's like a deal. Like, I know I'm about to say some insane shit. I know this is wrong, but that's like assuming that all Muslims are able to run gas stations. Like, they come here with the plan. All Asians have Chinese restaurants and hair stores. They come here with a plan. Mexicans have construction, lawn care, and restaurants. Is it racist? No, it's true. It's true. It sounds real racist, but it's not. It's true. They all come over here with the plan. So it's really hard for me to believe that they all had to come through the Mexican border or the Canadian border or, Florida. They all had to ride banana boats to get over here. And sure, a horrible way to say it. But am I wrong? No. It's unfortunate that I have to mention this out loud to people. Okay? Appearing on Fox News, he asked by host, who's that? Sean Hannity, whether America was at risk of a 9/11 style attack, meaning coordinated spectacle, big boom, something's gonna happen, tragedy, tears. We're gonna be in one of the bloodiest conflicts known to man, at least in our modern time. Best way to put it, right? It's coming, he said. These 2 million unknown gotaways scares the hell out of me of adding some could be terrorists, which I'm pretty sure they are. This scares the hell out of me, and I've been doing this for 40 years. It should have scared the hell out of every American what the Biden administration did. I'm convinced something's coming unless we can find them. A gotaway means an unlawful border crosser who is directly or indirectly observed making an unlawful entry into the United States, is not apprehended, and is not a turnback. His remarks come in the wake of the anti-Semitic terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Of course, they would mention that because that gentleman threw a Molotov cocktail at a think that was like the Passover parade or some Passover event. So that was referenced. It's always going to be the reference is the current attacks that I've told you about. Now, I would argue that maybe our problem is that and the actual people running around America right now. Now, we have our own issues with our own domestic terrorists, and this is going to be part of the problem with mass surveillance. It's not a problem, but as far as what they're going to do with the mass surveillance and how they're going to operate it and everything that I'm talking about right now. The mass surveillance and this whole idea of the next big event are going into each other. This is a tie-in, all right? Let me pull my face in. Pull this in for you. This is a tie-in, all right? They're tying a lot of things in that we're talking about and where you guys are talking about. We're all saying out in the open. We're all saying it. Too many people let in, too many groups we don't know about, too many instances where coordinated attacks can happen. No one ever explains what happened to the ammonium nitrate that disappeared. It was an ammonium something on the train a couple years back. No one mentions like where these people all disappeared to with their 3 to 5 year court dates. What I'm saying is that the motive has been set up. Whatever's about to happen, we're going into this conflict. We're going into it. What's up, Daniel? How you doing? We're going into it. The narratives are set up. We have the migrants. We have the ISIS Americans, people who are allegedly joining ISIS and doing terrorist events in America. We have the unstable veterans who are conducting these kind of events also. We got the one-offs at the fertility clinic. We have mass shoot. Man, the whole narrative is set up for everything that we've ever mentioned. And I don't know how any other way to say this, okay? Now, got some other footage. I have some footage that I wanted to show you. It's a whole video about what I was mentioning with the Pike and the 3 world wars and how all this is going in. All right, I want to tie back into that. I tend to bounce around. I'm sorry. It's a habit, wall break, conspiracy. You guys know what I'm talking about. Here you go.
While Israel and Iran are going at it, let's not forget what this gentleman right here said way back in the 1800s. A third world war will occur between the political blank and the leaders of the blank world. You got to read it. The war must be conducted in such a way that blank, the blank, and political blank, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual and economical exhaustion. I made a video about this guy. This was my second video I ever made on this page last year when Israel and Iran was going at it. Now, I blanked out some of the words because I want this video to reach people so that they can understand that we're following a script. Guys, Bible prophecy is going to happen whether you want it to or not. And you have men like this who have existed throughout centuries, a part of a secret order. I know I sound crazy. And this is for entertainment purposes only. The secret order I'm talking about is the Templar Order on Assassin's Creed, the video game. I am not talking about anything realistic. But follow me. Men like him have existed for hundreds of years, carefully guiding and also going along with history as God's prophecies have it. They've been capitalizing on such things, and this is how the beast system will ultimately rise order out of chaos. Guys, share this video, please. Because like I said, I made a video about this. This is my second ever post on this page. It was last year around April, and I need people to understand that this is a script, okay? Mind you, this same guy accurately predicted the First and the Second World War. Go ahead and look him up. The name will be listed right here, right here. God bless you. Be praying. Jesus is coming soon. We live in the end times. It's great days we live in, and time is short. Okay, it's time for us to get our heads out of the sand.
I don't think it's biblical. I think they're recreating it, and that's just my honest opinion. Because if you got the playbook, you can recreate it. If you control the narrative in the media, you can recreate whatever it is you want to. If the world leaders can agree to give up their own sacrifices, the great Third World War for the Luciferian agenda is basically everyone sacrificing it's the great depopulation, right? Everyone's going to put something into this. They're going to shed blood for this strange satanic undertone idea. I don't know why people act like it's not satanic, but it completely is. This is like the sacrificial lambs of the world are going to give themselves up, and they're going to basically just, you know, sacrifice their people, and then the rest who don't involve themselves, they're going to take and enslave them completely, and you're going to be happy. You know, you're going to own nothing and be happy. You're going to eat the bugs. You're going to get your universal basic income in your smart cities. You're going to get, you know, mass surveillance and cameras everywhere. You're going to get like Demolition Man meets Total Recall with a sprinkle of Hunger Games. And if you play your cards right, you might get the Purge. Like you're getting a whole cluster of different things happening at once. And I assure you, I used to think that this stuff was fake myself. I'm not going to lie. I used to like read into this stuff for fun and conspiracy, like, oh man, just conversation talk and, you know, cooler talk, until like one day I really started paying attention, and I'm like, yo, this shit's actually kind of happening. And there's no way to really explain this to people that it's happening without sounding like I'm off my rocker. I get it. And it's not hard for me to really say this stuff out loud. It's hard for me to want to talk about it with everybody because some people really ain't trying to hear this shit. This agenda is rolling. If you don't think Iran and Israel are about to get stupid with each other, I think Trump is going to go ahead and walk us into this. I don't think he's going to do it willingly, but I think that the conflict will be so grave that we're pulled into it because of what's going to happen on American soil. I think it's going to happen on American soil. I think it's going to be an event so fucked up that they're going to pull us into it, and then we go from here, and then the riots and the protests and the social engineering starts. And then again, I understand. Hold on. Okay. Let me slow down. I need y'all to understand that even if you don't read into the stuff like Pike and all these people, right? Even if you don't read into that, even if you don't believe in the Luciferian agenda or the Christianity, you could be an atheist, fine. You have to admit, looking at music and movies and listening to people like Ted Cruz talk, these people cannot be in control. Excuse me. These people, this just can't be it, because for the life of me, it seems like somebody is playing with this. It seems like somebody is prepping this. And if you don't watch how the narratives take off, the narratives move just like that. Like once they hit, they pump and they go. Netanyahu himself has already stated that Iran had tried to kill Trump twice. He's already trying to, and there's only 2 instances where Trump had his life threatened. So if you are not using your critical thinking skills right now, you're going to miss it. But he's basically saying the last 2 attempts on Trump's life came from Iran. That's what he's telling y'all. And the only reason he's saying it out loud now is because he wants us involved. Otherwise, he'd have just said this when it happened. The same person would have came out and said, hey, they tried to take out Trump. This who did it. He didn't do that. They never said who did it. That's the craziest thing. Now, Netanyahu, and if you don't believe me, if you don't believe it, here you go. Netanyahu says Iran tried to assassinate Trump as he tries to justify airstrikes on Fox News. And this is him trying to justify himself to go to war. This man will say anything to pass this little prophecy that he once passed. Listen, I can't draw this stuff out anymore. I've called out pretty much everything in the last 2 years. I've called out the Vegas incident as questionable. The New Orleans incident was definitely questionable. The fertility clinic bombing was questionable. Las Vegas, the whole Las Vegas incident 2017 was all this stuff that we're talking about is questionable. A lot of this stuff has backstories to it. If you really are watching what's happening, you would know not to trust Netanyahu. I'm sorry. The Israeli people and the Israeli government are two different things. I can separate those two. I am telling you without a doubt, risking shadow ban and all, as always, getting demonetized. I risk it every time I open my mouth on a live on Facebook. I'm telling you. Netanyahu will say anything to get us involved. They have been spinning the Iran narrative for some time. We know Trump took out the guy from Iran. Sure. We also know Israel sent over beepers to a group of people and they all blew up in their pocket. Some Palestinians, some Iranian. That's a thing too. That's why he gives Trump a golden pager, because he was a part of that operation. I don't know why you guys don't pay attention to that. Why else would you give someone a golden pager, which is so low down to give a golden pager? I'm at a point with doing this, like now, with all the stuff that's happening and watching it play out the way it's playing out. I would almost question, are we really going to do something about it? And when I say do something, I'm not talking about Vance Bolter. I'm not talking about anything like that. But are we really going to say something? Are we really going to because we're already in World War III. It's already started. The fact that everyone's talking about we're going into it lets me know how far behind most people are. We are in World War III right now. Without a doubt. And it's going to get uglier as the year goes on. And it's going to keep going. And you're about to learn how connected your politicians are to the state of Israel or the country of Israel. Ted Cruz showed his ass this past week. And with that interview he did with Tucker, I need y'all to understand the grip that is held on our politics by lobbyists and political agendas and Zionists. And I know when I say Zionist, people are like, why do you keep saying Zionism? Because I like to make sure I'm pointing the finger at the right person. Again, I am not talking about the Israeli people. Some of those Israeli people, just like Americans, are stuck in a very shitty situation with their leadership. And they're at the mercy of their leadership, especially in a country like Israel. If you say something, it's off with your head. So it makes everyone comply, but they still have their protests. But what I'm saying here is, in our political landscape, we have a weird little, just a weird face of Israeli lobbyists and pandering. And I'm not sure why, because we don't pander on every other country. We don't do this about every country, but we do it for one specific country. And for the life of me, it is so strange. I just don't understand. Tucker Carlson, while I still think, I seen the CIA Kabbalah bracelet that he had on, whatever you guys call it. I know he had the red Kabbalah bracelet. Tucker Carlson did the interview with Ted Cruz, and Ted Cruz had a lot to say about the country of Israel and how he stands for them. And while he mentioned that we give them $3 billion in defense a fucking year, which is so absurd, he showed his true colors. And I like that Tucker did this, but I think Tucker's playing both sides of the fence. And I'm going to show you the video, all right?
Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
Well, hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel, and what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel. Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis. That's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel. Yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel.
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yet nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis? Is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
Ted Cruz, people. That's Ted Cruz. And he really laid it out there. He really, he said a lot of things that he put his foot in his mouth a couple times. All right. And I understand helping the Israelis. Like if the Israelis were really in a situation where Iran was just bigots and they were just offensive people, sure. But I'm not going to solely blame Iran on this, knowing how Israel government is. I know that, and I'm not going to do that. So I just think that it's comical to have these conversations about why America is justified in protecting Israel when Israel is justified in protecting Israel, but for some reason Israel is not justified in protecting America, even though we fund them and everything they do. Now they give us stuff. We get a lot of our surveillance software from them. Truth of the matter. But I'm asking y'all out there, do you guys think that this war is worth it? Do you really think going to war with Iran is really worth it? Damn all the Illuminati shit. You really think it's worth it putting ourselves at risk for Israel? Because I assure you what's about to happen is going to be, if all the prophecies are true and we got till 2030 till that we're all on this great reset, but this whole prophecy is playing out at the same time also. Excuse me, what's the chances of all of this really coming full circle? 2027. Talking cyber attacks, outages, food shortages, instability, coup d'etats being pulled on the government. Or is it the end times? Is Jesus coming back? Is this the rapture? All right. I see you guys chiming in. Daniel says an oil tycoon on his deathbed said after Afghanistan, there'll be a false invasion. Then there will be now I have to search the coast to coast AM shows for that interview. I know what you're saying. It's possible. I'm just saying, all the information out there, right? All the stuff that we read about conspiracies, do you believe it? Are we all just loony? Because drink is frozen. I'm being honest. Like, do you really think at some point, like, are we going to really see this? Are we really going to see the Great Reset happen? I'm curious because I really don't know. At this point, I think they're going to usher it in. I'm just wondering what they're waiting on because they've already like hinted at the invasion and the events that are going to push us into this conflict. But I personally do think that they still got to kind of balance around the American people. We're the only ones in America that you got to take America. They're going to have to take America allegedly from everybody. If our government hasn't already sold the country to China, at least parts of it seems like they sold to China and other high bidders. If we do go to war, I think we're going to see the worst thing that we could possibly see. And I'm saying inside of America because that would make the war so much greater that it happened inside of America. Like, think like Pearl Harbor. Think like Pearl Harbor, 9/11. It's always been planes, but think that more boots on the ground. Like, we've already done planes. They've already done like explosions. The only thing they really haven't done, yet is boots on the ground, Red Dawn style. That's the only thing they haven't done. Think about it. They've done shootings, they've done planes, they've done bombs, they've done cyber warfare a few times in America. The only thing they haven't done is Red Dawn style not parachuting, but just multiple factions of groups running around America, and then that's going to force the people to activate the militias. And then the governors are going to activate the militias, and then it's going to go from there. And then they got to gain some type of control, and then they're going to be funding both sides of that war. And while that's happening, you know what? I want you guys, like, hold on, man. No fear mongering. Okay, let's dial it back again, because I hear myself. Okay, no fear mongering, but you guys do know that they're running out of ideas. You know, Blue Beam is the last thing in the hand of cards, is Blue Beam. Okay, so where we're at right now, we've already had the drones and the UFO conversation, the Anunnaki, stuff in the sky, spiritual warfare, all that conversation, right? Okay. The only thing we haven't seen on the ground in America is a coordinated attack on the ground, where it's not just explosions, it's kinetic. It's firefights in the middle of the street. LAPD, some faction. I don't know which faction. I don't know if it's domestic. I don't know if it's foreign. I just know that they're the only card that they haven't played are boots on ground. And now because you can't come back from that. You can come back, you can spin a lot of stuff. But if someone invades America and it gets kinetic, you cannot come back from that. We as people and humans will never look at this country the same again, no matter how it plays out, how we think who did it. We just will not come back from it. We just won't. And Daniel says he's speculating a missile attack. Look, man, I don't know. I got either suicide bomber, sleeper cell, or missile attack. Those are my three things. Those are my three. Suicide bomber. Suicide bomber. I just forgot, just like that. Suicide bomber, missiles, and boots on ground. Multiple factions running around doing crazy stuff. That's where I'm at right now. And two of the three are the same thing. The boots on ground and the IEDs and the suicide bombers. Those are the same thing. So I see something like that for the most part because of how they spun this whole migrant thing and all the people that got let in. And the videos that we were seeing of these people coming through telling us that you don't know my name, but you will know it soon enough. You know, these former terrorists, you got all kinds of people coming in and you just don't know who it is. But in the same breath, before I take this little half break, the same breath, you have no idea who's actually running this show. It could be our people orchestrating all of this. Why? Because why the fuck not? They've done it all the other times. Okay? All right. Now, we've hit an hour. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break. Always play my favorite video. 4th PSYOP divisions, Ghost in the Machine. But before we go to break, We're gonna get some promo in. All right, let's get some promo in. All right, all right. If you need branding, media, or digital support, feel free to visit me at dirtyrabbitdigital.com. It's a branding studio for entrepreneurs, creators, and truth tellers building a legacy online. Hey, whether you're building it through your stores, your blog, your outlet, however you want to do it, reach out to me. DR Digital for short on Facebook, dirtyrabbitdigital.com to book your boy. All right. I appreciate you. All right. All right. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to put this on the screen. You guys enjoy. I'll be right back.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me. You say your last good night while I begin.
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
The target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
The ammunition used by Psywar.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldier, and at the same time
Is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics, and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all phases of human experience.
Gripping at my skin, the walls of night close in.
but the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
As I wait to say my last goodbye.
These are the Psywar soldiers.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm back. All right. We are back from break. Now, I do want to say this. I don't have the image right now, but I do want to say in the event that something goes on, got an e-course for you. My guy Luke Brown, huge fan of the Daily Rabbit Hole, contacted me and wanted to go ahead and make his own survival prepper kit. Okay. So we have a brochure called Luke's Zombie Apocalypse Survival Guide. It's really informative. You would really love it. You guys see me share Luke Brown's footage and stuff in his and not his footage, but his comments. Feel free to tap Luke Brown for his survival guide. All right. Hey Luke, I'm working on it, man. It was a little impromptu, but I didn't want to leave you out. All right. All right. Second half of the show. Now, if you're just joining me, or when you come back, you take your own little break, and you come back and you watch this. We've talked about Netanyahu. We talked about Israel, Iran, Albert Pike, the Great Wars, what's happening, how it's lining up, and where we're at, and what's the end game. All right. Now, the end game, in my honest opinion, like I've said before, I truly think that the end game is the Luciferian agenda. I do think that they're trying it. Why? Look at how they display the media. Look at the symbolism. Symbolism will be the death of them. They can't help but to tell you who they are. And you should take that at a face value. Me personally, I pretty much ride with it. I think that's who they are. And not all of them, but there is a small group of people who don't care about publicity, who don't care about fame, really handling business. And I'm not talking about the Rothschilds. I think that's a level. I think that's like the middle. I think that's middle management. I think I'm calling the Rothschilds middle management. I truly think the Rothschilds are middle management. I think that they're all part of something. Yes, I think they have their fraternal orders or fraternities or secret societies, sororities, whatever. They have their organizations that they hide in because it makes it hard to pinpoint all of them. Sure, I can totally see that. But to sit here and watch how all this is playing out, you would have to almost think now that it's scripted. It's right on time. This Iran conflict is right on time. You think it's an accident that Trump wanted to show a show of force through his parade, the 250th anniversary and his birthday? He wanted to show his might and his force. He wanted to display the American military. All right. Also, it is a little bit of a dictator move, but whatever. I ain't knocking him for that, because if I had the big whistle, I'd be out there showing it off too. Like, hey, look what I can do. Fuck with us, you want to. Show strength. I just think that there's so much going on right now that we're missing the real plays at hand. And right now, no matter what state you're in, what country you're in, policy legislation is being passed for surveillance, for removing, the right to demonstrate and protest. In America, they would love to get rid of the Second Amendment. That's the only thing keeping them off our ass is the Second Amendment. Otherwise, they would have already done what they wanted to do, but they run the risk of dealing with us. And that's a lot to deal with. As I've always said with Project Pogo and Zephyr and David Goldberg, there's a lot of people to deal with in America. We are the largest standing military. We're one of them. Sure, China is that, but America got some issues. Everyone says America can't fight, but I'm here to tell you this, man. I think the American spirit is bigger than people are really leading on. I think a lot of people play down on the American spirit, saying that people are out of shape, people can't do this, people can't do that. If that was true, they would have already just go ahead and do it. Test your nuts. And that's not a call to do anything crazy, but if you listen to the rhetoric, it can't be too entirely true, because a whole lot of farmers in France and a group of angry people can shut down the government quickly, or at least make them tuck their tails a little bit. So me personally, I don't want to sit here and act like the American people can't defend themselves. The American people are useless. I won't do that. Now, there are a lot of fat ass people in America. Yeah, we're a fat ass country. That's just us. We're lazy. Some of us are. It's true. Unfortunately. But that doesn't remain to say that all of America cannot defend themselves and handle business. What I'm saying is boy, it got to be something to us if they're doing it the way they're doing it. The fact that they subvert us, the fact that they got to lie to us and bend narrative so that we don't get upset should let you know how strong we are as a whole. And even in this Iran and Israel conflict, Israel don't want to do nothing without America military. They're willing to risk our lives for the sanctity of their nation. And that's insane because they won't risk their lives for ours. Ask yourself how many Israelis were in the Iraq war with the Marines. How many Israelis died in the Iraq war? I saw that footage. I asked that now because I saw that video and it was a really good question. How many Israelis died in the Iraq war? Probably not a lot, if any. Now, my feelings are very stern on this. They have every right to defend themselves on their own. We give them $3 billion a year in defense. You mean to tell me you can't do this on your own? That is blasphemy. What is our $3 billion in defense going to? What are we paying for? If we are giving a country $3 billion in defense, you should safely assume that they should be able to defend them themselves. That's all I'm saying. $3 billion. But we even got free health care. People out here starving. There's more vacant houses than there is homeless people. But you giving $3 billion to Israel to defend themselves, and they can't even successfully defend themselves. Because if you think the Iron Dome is stopping everything that Iran is sending, you are out of your mind. Please go to my Telegram and go look at the footage. They are not getting everything. Israel is getting this shit rocked into. They getting rocked to sleep too. Don't get this shit twisted. This war is going to be ugly, guys, and they're setting it up. America's next. I'm telling you now, it's coming. It's coming, and it's crazy because the narrative is lined up to make us go into it. It's so perfect. Netanyahu will say anything. He's going to say any and everything to get us in there. At some point, you guys got to believe it. At some point, even the people who don't believe this shit that I'm saying, please understand that you can go to prison for a conspiracy, but you claim that conspiracies aren't real. You can't have it both ways. If I can go to prison for a conspiracy or being charged with conspiracy, this shit should apply to them too. And clearly that there's enough information within this conspiracy to charge our elected officials with conspiracy. True. Truth. Very true. So all I'm saying is this. We sit out here, we play this game of, are they telling the truth? Is it fake? Is it this? Is it that? Here's some uncomfortable truths. The Great Reset of 2030 is coming. That is a truth. Agenda 21, Project 2025, the Great Reset 2030, Agenda 47, the Great Financial Reset, BRICS are all the same thing. They are they're just all pieces of the same agenda. They just break it down because if they just roll this shit out, everyone learned from the tiny man not to do stuff quickly. When you do stuff quickly, you scare people. You cause resistance. So in their defense, they've learned that, and they're rolling with the slow game. I don't know any way to put this, but that's what they're doing. And the more they keep stripping away the first, the second, the fourth, the fifth, the 14th, I think the 22nd's already been gutted. The 13th ain't worth the fuck. 16th Amendment also, I'm not sure. I might be off on that one, but I know the 4th, 5th, and the 14th, and the 15th, 13th too. First and second. They're violating the shit out of those. They're going to violate the shit out of that 4th and 5th real soon too. I'm telling you. There's too many things in place to violate them. FISA 702, the executive orders. There's so much signed in that in the event that something goes wrong inside of America and martial, because technically we're still under martial law and war declaration because we're paying income tax. Let's just be realistic. We've been under martial law for some time. It's a weird version of it, but we're under it. And we're still paying income taxes, which is only something you're supposed to do at a time of war. We've been paying income taxes since the Civil War. So please understand that they've had us listed as completely at a time of war for the last 150 plus years. So the fact that he's trying to abolish income tax, which will tell you that we're not at a declaration of war, is not entirely true. We are at a declaration of war. We're in World War III right now. And you want to know how he gets his third term? There's only a couple ways to get a third term. One of them would probably be World War III. There's been a president, I'm going to say Roosevelt. Say Roosevelt got a third term. I could be wrong. I can't remember. Is it Roosevelt? Roosevelt got a third term for World War I. I believe it's World War I. Trump may get this third term, and it could usher in some authoritative, totalitarian type structure. One world authority. Remember, we're paying a 15% global tax. We all agreed to a 15% global tax. That is real. They're still paying it. I don't know what the fuck we're paying a global tax for, considering they didn't create the world and they don't own it. But yet we're going to pay a 15% global tax. So clearly they own the world. Riddle me that one. About as bad as us paying for water. Shit comes out of the sky. Paying for something. I'm not going to go into that. What I'm saying is that everyone has agreed to this. Everyone has agreed to some type of a one world structure. Now, it has been said in the World Economic Forum by Klaus Schwab himself before he stepped down and disappeared in the shadows with his bullshit charges that America is against globalism. They know we're against globalism because we're America. We're against anything that seems a little dictator-like. Like, hey, we got guns, fucker. You can't do that. That's kind of our logic in this country. It's America. But truth of the matter is, America really hasn't been America. Like my dad, he's a huge America guy. He's a former Marine, and he believes that America is not what it used to be. I explained to him, what you thought America was, it wasn't then. It's just that the times didn't reflect the leadership. And that's the craziest thing about the boomer generation and the silent generation. You guys had hard times, but it wasn't, you guys weren't so stuck on, oh, that's not actually true. I take that back. You guys were kind of stuck on the leadership back then. That was kind of the Rainbow Coalition and what happened to Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers. So you guys may have understood, but you guys never got a chance to complete it, and rightfully so. So I had to recant some words. I was about to say something, misinformation, and I don't try to misinformation you guys. I just, jogging my memory, pulling out my Rolodex, going through a whole lot of stuff in my head, content, stuff on my screens I'm looking at to keep me on, on pace, on track with you guys. But what I'm saying is my dad had my dad and my grandparents have a certain way that they think America should be, and they don't see that anymore. Even though going through the civil rights movement in the 70s and the 80s, how could one think America was for you after what they did, the crack epidemic? We all know the Iran-Contra scandal is real. They sold drugs to the black neighborhood. They sold pills to the white neighborhood. They sold drugs to the Latin neighborhood. Everybody had drugs sold to them. So my question to a lot of times to my people before me is, if you clearly couldn't see it, why do you think it's so different now? You couldn't see it back then, but you see the effects now. Do you think that what you guys were going through wouldn't show up in our generations, in our children's generation? And that's such a real question, because I have to ask it, because at 2025, the last 5 years have been a doozy, people. We all got to admit, 2025 was fucking rough. I mean, 2020 to 2025 was rough. from the pandemic to the market crashing, to crypto dying, the rainbow money, to mass firings, and then bringing people back. And then I'm on Facebook, so I can't say what I want to say about a lot of stuff, but I'll say this. For you people who played I Want to Be a Guinea Pig, this is not to poke fun at you, but I bet you're fucking regretting this shit now. And damn all the RFK Jr. stuff, damn what he talking about. There's definitive proof. It took them 5 years to figure out that they were going to end up suing all of Big Pharma for what happened in 2020 and what they did to people. And if you know, you know. I ain't going to keep going far into it because I'm on Facebook. Like I said, the worst they can do is make me take it down, but I'm going to say it. 2020 was an experiment. They tested it, and y'all allowed it, and 5 years later, it looks like you guys are wrong. It looks like you guys are wrong, and you're going to pay for it in the worst way. Because whether you know it or not, you injected yourself with government property, and that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And you should have read the disclaimer in your insurance too. So if you think, after what I've just said, that they're not capable of playing us into a situation in 2025 in this whole Israel versus Iran, we're not even talking about Hamas. We haven't talked about Hamas since October 8th, 2024. Not for real, for real. Hamas, yeah, sure. The first 3 weeks. Where's Hamas at now? Where's Hezbollah? Isn't it funny that all these groups in the region, wouldn't it have made sense by now that these groups would have ganged up on that country by now? Don't you find it funny that the Taliban has never taken a swipe at them? ISIS has never taken a swipe at them. It would seem like they only hate Americans, even though they say death to everyone, Jewish and Americans, but you don't find that weird that none of the terrorist organizations are really. Come on. You don't notice it? It's almost like they don't exist. Or because everyone knows that they're surrounded. If you look at the topography of the land around Israel and surrounding and the geography, they're surrounded. We're giving them $3 billion a year, and I assure you, that's not holding them. So I find it really strange that every time all this stuff is going on, all these groups disappear until we need to pass something or we need funding for a war. Then they reemerge, and then there's a problem with them. Almost like they don't exist. That's good. So understand what I'm pointing at. I'm telling you, I think without a doubt, we're playing along on the script. I think the prophecy is on script. I think Abbott in Texas sending the red heifers was all part of the script. I think that's all part of it. I think them building the third temple in Jerusalem, I think that's part of the script because I think all of it already happened. I think they're trying to usher in a fake prophecy. I think they know the only way they can get us to comply is to scare the shit out of us and make something so gruesome and so bloody that we just go along with it. That's what I think. I'm kind of inclined to believe the literature in my research because everything else is pointing at that. Because if it wasn't true, then none of it would actually be happening. That's the thing that no one answer. If it wasn't true, it wouldn't be happening. I don't think it's prophecy. I think it's script. I think these people, whoever it is, who's ever running it, we've heard of all the looking glass and all these theories. There's a huge inkling that these people are talking to demonic spirits and getting instruction and getting information and knowledge, the context and scripts that they stole over the last 1,000 years. If you go in the Vatican, they got all the information. If you go to these organizations, they have symbolism, Freemasonry. You guys all talk about this stuff. Some point you're gonna have to start believing it, because clearly it's playing out that way. It ain't playing out any other way. I was hoping it would play out another way, but it's playing out exactly how we're reading it. It's playing out exactly how the videos are saying it. It's playing out how everybody who was reading into it and taking it for what it is, that's how they're playing it. I think they're trying their damnedest to usher in something, but it has to be like a mass bloodshed event. It's like a mass blood sacrifice around the world. The last time they did that, demand flooded the damn world, even though it didn't work. Flooded the world and it still didn't work. They still came back. This in the ancient scripts of Samaria and Canaan and all these, they had giants. The Epic of Gilgamesh. You know what I'm saying? The big giants, the Anunnaki, whatever the fuck you call these people, giants, big people, magic, blood drinking, sacrifices, eating children, Moloch. All this stuff in these books and religious scripts and all this, at some point, it's either real or fake. And at this point, it looks like it's playing out to be real, because they're doing it still. I'm on Facebook, guys. I can say stuff, but I can't say stuff. But I'm on Rumble, so I can get away with it because my main feed is Rumble. But what I'm saying is the stuff that we have all talked about, like the blood drinking, the soul harvesting or the soul cooking, Luciferian doctrine, abolishing Christianity, which is a thing. Did Homeland Security not tell you Christianity was considered like a domestic extremist ideology? Do you not see the attack on your children in your faith? Do you not realize that they just want you to do as you must or do as you will, as they think? They want you to just go out and do what you want to do. No morals. Morals and dogma, like Albert Pike's book says, his title. I don't find it weird that they're trying to get you to do something you don't want to do, and they're injecting it towards your kids. Like, it's either all real or it's all fake. And at this point, I thought it was fake all the way up until, like, there was parts I like, we know MK Ultra's real. We know Northwoods is real. We know a lot of operations are real. We know those are real. But when we talk about the Luciferian, satanic, death cult, the Amalekites, the children of Moloch, people say Baal worship, but Baal and Moloch, Baal means Lord. Baal and Moloch are the same person. Baal Moloch, Lord Moloch, it's the same person. The Amalekites, the children of Moloch in the Israelite battle in the Bible that we're all talking about, got a bunch of black folks walking around in purple uniforms looking like Power Rangers now, talking about they're Israelites. That psyop. Listen, I can say a lot of stuff, and I could go there with a lot of groups, but I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of shit playing out that I don't think we all fully understand. I understand some of it because I research a lot, and I sit here in my little books and I read, and then I try to watch and pay attention, and sometimes it shows up without me looking for it. But I assure you, they've been telling you for some time that they're fucked up. And it's on us to believe it. I can't make y'all believe it, but they've told us that they have an agenda, and they're pushing that agenda pretty well. It's in the hip hop music. People used to say, what was it? Rock and roll was devil music. Rap is devil music. Shit, 40 years later, it's all devil music because they're all praying over it and doing a sacrifice before it. Am I wrong? Are we not watching the same entertainment? Are we not asking the same questions? Are we all wondering why people in Hollywood look so sad and anxious? Why all rappers hate their lives? Why Diddy's over here with all the lube in the world Think about it. All this stuff that we're talking about, we're watching happen in real time. That's the craziest part about everything that I talk about with y'all, is that it's actually happening in real time. Now, the hard part is deciphering what's real and what's not. When I say that, I say it's happening, but it looks like the white hats and the red hats. Is that a real thing? Good and evil, good versus bad, the light and the darkness. You can't have one without the other. You can't have light without the darkness. The darkness is just the absence of light. That's it. That's it. That's all the darkness is, the absence of light, the absence of pure, the absence of true divine nature. That is the darkness itself. Not knowing oneself. Like we're all waiting for some person to come out of the sky, or waiting on an orange tan and a bad comb over to save us. But I'm starting to think that's not what we're supposed to be waiting on. I'm thinking, me personally, we're supposed to be saving ourselves and our families through community, or some form of fucking community, whatever we can muster in this time. But we're supposed to be saving ourselves. We're not supposed to be relying on the systems that enslave us. The principalities, like, well, it's like we're waiting on the principalities to save us, and that's not how the principalities work. At least that's not how it's coming off to me. You can go into all the the 7 principalities, the archons, that whole thing, whatever. Listen, we all feel it in our guts, in our hearts. If you are aligned, your chakras, your spirit, your pineal gland don't smell like calcium and tap water. Like, I'm pretty sure that we can all assume that there's clearly something wrong. But for the masses who have been indoctrinated, or who haven't read a book since they graduated high school, or just don't believe in anything, it's hard for them to see. But the truth of the matter is, I think this has always been a problem. Excuse me. And I go back to the baby boomers and the silent generation and the uprising that came with the civil rights movement. These people saw it then. And if history is true, this small group of people has been kicked out of about 109 countries. Whoever these people are, they've always been kicked out of their country. Apparently in history, we've all known who they were up until the last 100 years. And now we don't know who they are because they're in control. And I'm not saying what happened in World War II was a part of that, but I'm saying World War II tends to rhyme with World War III. And what was going on in Germany, eerily, fucking eerily, looks just like what's going on in America right now. And I am by no means agreeing to anything that little man did. But what I'm saying is this: it rhymes really well. Twins, Mary Kate, Ashley Olsen, Doublemint twins. What happened in Germany eerily looks like America right now. And what's funny about those two is that when you go all the way back into religious scripts and content and context, right? Go all the way back. What went on in the book of Enoch pre-flood, before Genesis, seems like it's happening again. And I don't know if that shit's real. I don't know if it's true. I know that it resonated with my spirit because of my research and my common sense that I add to it. Like, I don't try to overcomplicate this shit. I don't pick sides. If you guys have learned anything about me, I'm not a side picker. I'm not MAGA. I'm not a leftist. I'm not even a libertarian. I am uniquely me. And I am the person doing this research on my own time and reading and understanding. And I got 20 plus years of time reading into this stuff. Sure, a lot of it was just fun, on the fly, just bored one night on the internet and just decided to do a 4-hour, 8-hour binge into content. But coming all the way to 2025 after 2020 and watching everything that I had ever read transpire between 2020 and 2025 made me a believer. I don't care. I will be loony. But guess what? I'm loony with broadcast credits now. The news acknowledges my newsworthiness and my ability to capture information. So therefore, I would like to tell you guys that I honestly think that I am telling you the God honest truth without sensationalizing it, without trying to fabricate something in it. If I misquote something, I'm sorry. I mean well. But I am not out here just purposely trying to fabricate the shit out of something. What I'm trying to say is all the research that I have read through, all the books and videos and lectures that I've sat through, Ted Gunderson, Will Cooper, fucking I can't remember the black dude name. He be preaching in the church and stuff. It's two of them. And like all those videos and then hearing them out and then hearing the new content creators and listening to them with an honest ear, like a real honest ear. Even though a lot of them are fucking co-opted or industry plants, they are giving you honest information. So with a little bit of deceit narrative in there, but it's important to do your own research and find this stuff out. The problem that I have with all of this is that the stuff that I am researching typically is starting to check the fuck out with what's going on. That is my problem. That is why the Daily Rabbit Hole exists. The Daily Rabbit Hole only exists right now is because I shared a whole lot of videos that I thought were fucking cool and I thought I should share, only to find out that 54,000 of you actually agree with what I was talking about and sharing. Sure, there's a couple Fed boys and some bots in my 54,000, but nonetheless, 54,000, even though I'm shadow banned, I'm not getting my full reach, but we're still going to hit decent numbers this full year. We'll still see 3 million reach this year. All right. That's with a shadow ban. The only reason the Daily Rabbit Hole is here and it exists is because you people actually agree with what I'm saying. And the only way you guys would have agreed is that you've been sitting here watching the same thing that I've been watching for the last, I'm 39. Fine. We'll say 20 years, the last 20 years, you've been watching, you have understood through everything that you have read that there is something clearly wrong out here with our elected officials and our leadership. There is no other way to put it. If it wasn't real, it wouldn't be happening. And that's the craziest part about all of this. That's my reasoning. Shit happens. There's a coincidence. But fuck, you mean to tell me you guys literally played out everything this man Bill Gates was saying 20, 30 years ago when he was vaccinating Africa into the ground? He vaccinated Africa into the ground. The whole Haiti earthquake and the Clinton Foundation, we heard the rumors back then of human trafficking, and it wasn't that. It wasn't what we thought it was, right? We didn't believe it then. When New Orleans and Katrina happened, we didn't believe it then. When 9/11 happened, we didn't believe it then. You mean to tell me now, after all that we didn't believe, 2025, I sit here today and tell you, you better believe, you better start reading and paying attention because they're up to something. They wouldn't, if it wasn't real, they wouldn't be trying to strip everything. They wouldn't try. That's all I'm saying. So even though I'm a creator, I'm a small creator, and I'm a drop in the pond of creators, I would hope that you guys understand that I am a regular creator who can sit here and we'll go through the information and read it and talk about it and apply it to real time. I'm not going to pander. I know the black plight. I get it. I understand the white plight. I understand the Mexican plight. I understand a lot of people's issue in America with what's going on. I just want us to understand that we can all disagree with each other and still have a mutual agreement that we have a mutual problem. We can agree that we have a mutual problem. No matter what color you are in America, before I get off this stream, I can tell you that we all agree that we have a mutual problem. I don't care if you're white, Mexican, Asian, black, blue, green. If you are middle class, lower middle class, working poor, hell, even some of the higher, upper middle class who kind of believe this stuff. I'm not mad at you for making a little pocket money and doing and making wealth for your family. That's not what I'm mad about. I'm not mad about people who do the right thing and make money for themselves and write off their taxes. You earn $3 million a year, you should be able to keep it. But you motherfuckers out here, billions of dollars off the backs of us, leaving the debt to us to handle while you continuously print out money and run the middle ground and run the middle class into the ground. I'm talking about y'all. I ain't really talking about poor people. The poor people plight is division and racial, and that's given to us. Because I honestly believe if we all talk to each other, we would realize we have the same problem. It just looks differently. They gave black people crack and heroin. Guess what? They gave white people pills and alcohol and meth. Meth is not typically a black drug. It's uncomfortable truth. Like, crack is crack. Crack will hit the black people hard. It's an uncomfortable truth. I can say it out loud because it's true. They gave us both drugs, guys. Are you not mad about that? You think you're the only one that got pills and meth? They gave us pills and crack. We got the same problem. Shit. Your kid come home from school dumber, guess what? Shit, I got to focus on making sure my kids ain't learning all that stupid shit. Guess what? We got the same problem. Raping you on taxes? Me too. Crazy. We got the same problem again. Tell me how my skin color and your skin color is the problem. It's not. It's not. They would rather us fight amongst each other than to realize we have the same problem again. And I say again because that's what the civil rights movement was for. It wasn't because of the civil rights. It's because everyone realized they had the same damn problem, and it was easier to divide people before they realized they had the same problem. Yeah. Welcome to the Daily Rabbit Hole. I am not going to pander you on women's rights and the rights of and do I think that black women like black men? I don't care about that because clearly my wife is black and she loves the shit out of me, so I'm fine. I do know that they're destroying the nucleus of the home, whether you're white or black. That's crazy. We have that same problem too. You guys feel like child support beating your ass down? White and black? Guess what? You got the same problem. You don't want to send your kids to the draft? Guess what? You got the same problem again. I could do this all night. I'm so petty. I'm so incredibly petty. I could do this all night. We have the same problems, but the only problems they want us to focus on is skin color, religion, identity politics, bathroom assignments. And internet issues like Facebook. Like, we'll just say the fourth stuff because Facebook's easy. They keep us divided for a reason. Because if we ever sat down and agreed that they're fucking us and sending too much money to Israel, they'd be in trouble. If we sat here and was like, hey, you can't make us all go to the military. If you draft us, we're not going. They would have a problem. They would be like, hey, you can't go to war. Why not? We only got 3 million and the other 40 million said they're not going. And we stood on that. No violence, just protested, real hard protest and hit those pockets. We can make a change. But I assure you, they keep us divided with stupid shit. Racism, religion, identity politics, and bathroom assignments. That's what they keep us divided with. And it works because all y'all want to relate to some shit instead of the shit that matter. And it's so funny to me because I just named like 10 things that we all have in common and we should all actually be upset about. But y'all ain't hearing me. I mean, yeah, Some of y'all are hearing me, but this ain't this all this feed, it ain't gonna make it to the masses. Why? I'm gonna get suppressed. It's not gonna make it out. This message that I'm putting out, you don't hear many creators talking like this. You're not gonna sit here and get a lot of creators to tell you that we got more in common than we don't. The only things we don't have in common are personal shit. And you're not supposed to have personal shit in common. You're supposed to have a couple things, but not all of it. We're supposed to have like interests on a spectrum, and then we meet in the middle. We're not supposed to all lean left or right. We're all supposed to have our own morals and ethics and beliefs and understandings through a shared common belief. But for some fucking reason, we're all stuck on race, religion, identity politics, and bathroom assignments. But everything else we agree on. We agree on so much that we don't agree on nothing. Because I assure you, there are black veterans and there are white veterans, and then there are brown veterans, and then there are yellow veterans, and then there are Muslim veterans, and there are all kinds of American veterans that all are sharing the same idea. And there's a few one-off that just be saying stupid shit like, well, why does Trump want to do that? Because they all suck. If you think that the left is different from the right, I don't even waste time with you. Left wing, right wing, same fucking bird. I'm not wasting time with nobody who think the left is different from the right and vice versa. They are the same fucking thing. One wants to go to war for Israel, and the other one wants to bring Israel here and cause domestic instability. Pick which side is doing it, is damn near the same one. Pick a side. Pick a card, any card. Pick a side. Pick a wing, pick a feather. It came from the same fucking bird, same bird. You can pull all the feathers off. It's still a fucking bird. A very ugly bird. That bird ain't gonna take flight and it's probably gonna die. But if you pluck them fucking feathers off, it's coming from the same bird. Tonight was to make you think, is this really the Great Reset or the Great Prophecy? And I hope whatever I said resonates somewhere. I hope the second half of this show, you know, maybe that resonates and people be like, you know what? My guy got a fair point. We do have the same problems. Yeah, our problems might look different in certain ways, but without a doubt, we got the same problems. And it ain't hard to see it. Your food being poisoned? Crazy. My food's being poisoned too. Your tap water got filth in it? Crazy. I got a filter on my tap too. You feel weird about people talking to your kids dressed like a clown? Sure, I feel the same way. Are you curious as to why I don't care about skin color? Don't, because it's not the most important thing. You should feel that way too. But for some reason, that's what we're stuck on. But we all have the same problems. We're all paying the same shitty taxes. Some of us may have better tax information. But we're all dealing with the same shit. Shitty school system, shitty food, shitty air, shitty water, shitty leadership, shitty morals, shitty values, shitty music, shitty narratives, legacy media full of shit. Police only caring about the policy and the money. They're not really there to protect you. They're there to carry out policies. Insurance fucking you? Crazy. My insurance is fucking me too. Medical insurance is expensive? That's crazy. That shit's expensive for me too. And I ain't on food stamps. We make too much. And I don't know how that is. I don't know how we make too much for that, but I can't get food stamps to feed my family, and I got 4 kids. So if you're going through that trying to figure out how to feed your kids, guess what? I'm going through that also. We got something in common, guys. Maybe, just maybe, hear me out. New idea. How about we put our differences to the side and start talking to each other like respectable humans again? You don't have to like me. You don't have to like my music. To be honest, I like a lot of things. You don't have to like my ways. You don't have to like my skin. I really don't care about that. What I do care about is if we don't get this fucking boot off our neck, skin color is going to be the last of our problems. You could agree to disagree, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to argue with it. But I am going to say this. The moment we do, just know we can't come back from a lot of things. And the moment we decide to look at them and be like, hey, I don't like it, they're either going to do one or two things. They're going to either cut the lights out or they're going to goddamn comply for so long. The truth of the matter is that we have way more in common than they paint on the mainstream media. And just sitting here acting like it's purely black and white, identity politics, bathroom assignments, and religion, it's bigger than that. We're all colors of wheat. I heard someone say that. We're all colors of wheat. Wheat comes in lighter colors. We're all colors of wheat. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're all colors of dirt. Some dirt's lighter than the other. I don't know. I don't know the way to say it, but I'm saying that if we don't really wise up, the Luciferian agenda is going to go through, and I'll just be here, I guess, up until 2030, I guess, is when my window before I get off of this. So if they win, probably won't be doing this in 2030. If we win, I might still be here doing this after 2030. That's all on us, guys. But truth of the matter is, they're trying us and they're daring us, and they really want to try it. I'm convinced that they're trying us. I'm convinced that they're trying to get that reaction. I think they're going to get that reaction eventually because identity politics, religion, race, and bathroom assignments. Those are all personal matters. Those are really all things that we personally decide to do. But we didn't personally decide to be ran by a satanic group. Had we known this, we wouldn't agree to it. We didn't decide to think that, fluoride was good for us. We didn't say fluoride was good for us. They did. We didn't decide to spray the skies in geoengineering and cloud seeding. We didn't decide to put poison in our food. We didn't decide those things. We didn't decide to go to war with Iran. We didn't decide to go to, that's not what we were thinking. So if you really think about what I'm saying and everything I said tonight and what they're doing in the agenda, they're banking on us being divided. So do the fucking opposite in this inverted world. Do the opposite. Don't be divided. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like anything about me, but we can agree that we have a mutual problem. We need that boot off our neck as a whole. The black plight needs the white plight. The black problems need the white problems. The brown problems need the black problems. The yellow problems, when they want to admit that they have them and not be segregated from us, they can be a part of our problems too. And we can mutually agree that we all have the same problem from the upper middle class and below. And sure, there's a couple rich people who on the one off would believe this shit, sure. Because, you could be rich and still believe it's all conspiracy. Shit, it doesn't change anything. You made money from it's capitalism. It's the whole point of this country. So before I get off here tonight, this is what I want to say. This is my final words to you tonight, guys. We have more in common than you believe. And if you let Netanyahu convince Trump or drag Trump into this or drag us all into this, we will not come back from it. We have not came back from anything since 2019. We have been in a different time, a different world, different realm, different plane, whatever you want to believe. All of it seems off. And because it is, because it's an agenda. It's because it's not coincidence. It's a script. They are running a script. decompartmentalize, or excuse me, compartmentalize, because decompartmentalize would be what we're doing. So excuse me, compartmentalize from small agencies and political proxy groups, secret societies, and different families involved, all trying to bring in a Luciferian objective through war, cataclysm, social divide. Or it just be the one off. These motherfuckers are just homicidal and then they're going to run us into hell. We're just going to blow up the world. And that's the one off. But truth of the matter is, I'm pretty convinced that this is a script and they got a good idea of what they're doing. And again, I ask you to listen to what I said tonight in the first half and the second half of my show. They are not fucking around with us. They are about 75% through this actual surveillance state idea, and they're going to centralize it through Planeteer. So many ways and fashions. I've told you voice to skull, all the numerous patents that they have, the holograms, the sounds, the heart, the frequency, all that. They have the technology. Why do you think they're giving it to us now? Because they figured it out. They got it down. Listen, whatever is coming down the pipeline, it's coming. It's always been coming. It's not make believe. It can't be. Because if it was, it wouldn't happen. Not even including the MAGA and the red hats. So this is like I said, final thought to you guys tonight. We have more in common. They're going to pull us into this conflict. If we do not figure it out, they're going to get us, and it's going to get our kids and our kids' kids. If you are a millennial and a boomer or a Gen X or a Zennial, whatever, Gen Z now, whatever, listen to what I'm saying. No matter how old you are, this shit matters. No matter how you feel about it, left, right, top, bottom, we can all meet in the middle and understand that we have the same exact problem. For the love of God, fucking fix it. Fix yourselves. Save yourself, save your family, get right with whoever you need to get right with. Do what you need to do. Because I'm telling you, they are going to try us. They're going to try us in the worst way. They've done it numerous times. They're going to keep doing it. They have given black people syphilis. Pretty convinced they gave them AIDS. They have given white people meth. They gave people heroin. We all have the same problem, okay? Take what you learned tonight and put the next person on and be like, hey, there is a gentleman who is out of his damn mind with his own platform, and he is out here trying to tell people on his soapbox. This is not the gospel. This is not prophecy. This is just good, hard research and goddamn common sense with a little sprinkle of critical thinking in there. You don't even need a lot. Critical thinking, babe. So before I go, guys, thank you so much for sitting with me tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Thursday night, 10:21 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2-hour show. We haven't done it in a while, but I'm coming back slowly, guys. If you can't tell, I'm slowly coming back. We're bringing receipts. We're bringing literature, videos. We're bringing real hard dialogue, all right? I'm not going anywhere. I might drag my feet some days coming into work, but the Daily Rabbit Hole will go on. I appreciate you guys. And before I go, let's get some quick plugs in, all right? When I get the show fixed on YouTube, I saw what happened on my website, so I'm going to fix it. It won't matter at this point, but it's a simple, I should have fixed it before I got on. So if you want to watch the stream and the stream archive, please go to thedailyrabbithole.org. It's your home to uncensored streams, past shows, and independent analysts. All right, that's me. I got some stuff that I've written on there. I'm working on being a blogger, not so much a news reporter, but maybe a blogger, and a lot of my stuff will be on there. All right, so you guys feel free to go to Daily Rabbit Hole. Feel free to donate for the price of a cup of coffee. You can donate to the Daily Rabbit Hole. It's the same idea, man, and I appreciate you guys so much. All right, feel free to donate on all my platforms. do it on my website. Facebook's cool, but I'd rather you go to my website or donate on Rumble. And last but not least, if you guys ever need branding, media insight, or some type of digital support, all right, go to dirtyrabbitdigital.com and inbox me. You get a free 60-minute consultation, and we can help your brand grow together. All right, I'm a digital brand studio for entrepreneurs, creators, and truth tellers building a legacy online. Like my guy Luke, he learned I can pretty much make anything with a little bit of time, and I can make it look good. And Luke got into the fight with me. All right, his survival guide is very good. I'm gonna have a copy of it. I'm gonna show it on the show. Have the digital image. I'm gonna make sure you guys get your own survival brochure. In the time of need, you'll have something to tap into. All right. Thank you so much. You guys stay safe. You guys keep your head on a swivel. If you're in the cities, prep. Get your bug out bag. Have a bug out plan and have a bug in plan. All right. This is the Daily Rabbit Hole. I'm Marcus. You have a good night. And officially, this is the Rabbit Hole Report. All right. That's really the name of the show. I just don't really be working on the branding. This is the Rabbit Hole Report brought to you by the Daily Rabbit Hole. Guys, have a great night. All right. All right.